if you need to do review, or you want to refresh your memory, or you want to go back over what's here. So let me make sure it's starting. There we go. And according to everything, I have a weird setup. I just want to make sure before I shut down my thing. Can you hear me on the stream? Do you have the audio on the stream? Are you hearing me? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me send you the link. I know you guys asked for that last time too. If you need the stream link, there it is. Just put a note in there in case somebody takes all of these the meeting notes. You guys can hear me on the stream? Okay, cool. I just didn't want to go over there and then talk to myself for 10 minutes and not have you hear me. That would be pretty useless. Okay, I'm going to cut this so that I'm not doubled up here. Okay, so we're going to look at, oops, clicked on the wrong thing here. We're going to look at some of the technical things about how you deal with creating a new, how you deal with sound effects. So let me switch over to Pro Tools. Okay, so this is our Pro Tools creation dashboard. So I'm going to create a new session. Now, the first thing I want to show you is that you want to start and you want to make it a 48K session. The reason that you want to make it 48K is because we talked about this a little bit in our sample, when we talked about the sample rate thing, is that when it comes to video, 48 is an easily dividable into 24 frames per second, which is the standard for film. So if you record at 48K, it's easier for the computer to figure out how 48K syncs with 24 frames when you're doing audio for video. So we're going to go ahead and make a 48K session. 24-bit still. We still want it to be nice and quality. I'm going to call this SFX. Call it SFX in class. And I'm going to figure out where I want to put it. I'm going to put it in here just so I have a copy of that. Okay, so here I go. Blank Pro Tools session. Why is it not? That was weird. My Pro Tools just took a second on me. Okay, so we're going to start here by importing a video, because that's going to be important here. We're going to import, we're going to choose video. And obviously you won't have these videos in there. So I'm going to grab something. Oh, that's a really long video. Let's grab something pretty easy here. What's going to be... Oh, that doesn't have any audio on it. Okay, I'm just going to have to grab something that's like this. Okay, so I'm going to grab a video, and we'll figure out we'll talk about how you guys import video here in a bit. We're going to grab the video, and we're going to start here by choosing a new track because we're importing video. We're also going to choose session start, and we're going to choose import audio from file. Oh, there is a compatibility issue with Pro Tools. You're going to get that pop-up. Don't worry about it. It's supposed to be fixed in an update fairly soon. It has not been yet, but it will be. I don't know why. If you ever have this issue, the video window is here. I'm going to do... This is odd. I'm going to stick this down here for now. Okay, my video is in there. Okay, so My apologies. So the new version of Pro Tools is having a little bit of an issue. So notice it didn't import my audio. There's a way around that. If you choose audio, but then you turn around okay. I've done another update and it really doesn't like me now. Okay, so there is a way around this as well. I will have to outline this elsewhere. But if you go to your applications folder, and you go to the QuickTime player, every Mac will have a QuickTime player, of course, and I'm in the QuickTime player. I'm going to choose open a file. I'm going to go in and I'm going to find the exact same file that I just used a second ago. There's the file with audio. Great. Except now I'm going to go here and I'm going to choose export as audio only. I'm going to save that as M4A. That's great. Hit save. It's going to export it. It won't take too long. Even though this is a 20-minute video, it's actually moving pretty quickly. The video you guys are going to use is going to be a lot shorter, so it shouldn't be a problem at all for you guys. Okay, it's done. I'm going to close QuickTime Player, close this out. I'm going to go back to Pro Tools, and I'm going to go in, import, audio, go to my hard drive. I'm a fool. I wasn't paying attention. Where did it put that? Easy way to figure that out is usually just to go open recent. Go through the motions again, but this time pay attention to where it put it. Oh, it just put it in the... Oh, I see it. Okay, great. Ooh, it's not letting me... Ooh, that's not good. Okay, for the project that you're going to do, I will make sure that you have a separate audio file. This is a little bit... Apparently, the QuickTime issue for Pro Tools has gotten worse, but in practice, it's actually not going to be much of a problem because the project that you guys are ultimately going to get is that you're going to pull a video, you're going to strip all the audio, and you're going to replace all the audio. So not being able to pull in the audio is really not a deal breaker right now. So I'm not really sweating it too much. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out here is that I just created a video track, and now I come over to my mix window, and there's nothing there. So when you make a video track, do not expect for there to be a corresponding fader or anything like that. Oh. I'm going to mute this for a second. Okay, I know why it does that. It's a long story. It's a technical thing with YouTube. Okay, but you will not have a track here until you make an audio track. Video tracks, there's nothing to mix, so you won't get a track there. So I'm going to go ahead and make a couple new tracks here. Let's just make 3 for giggles. So there we go. Now I have audio tracks, and now they show up that way. So let's say that we're going through this video Okay, and you should be able to resize this. I don't know why it's not. Okay, well, your other thing that you can do, the other thing you guys can do is you can actually move this to the other screen, which is another reason that I put that second screen in there. And all you do is you go there and you can just push it over there and then see the video from there. Okay? Now, my video, this was done with a really high-end camera, so it's a lot larger than, it's probably a full 1080 by 960. So your videos, we can probably make more like 720 and they won't be so freaking giant. Okay, so if I play this, you'll see me, yeah, you'll see me doing my whole spiel on the video there. But let's say we want to add some sound effects to this. So, I am actually going to do something a little bit different here. Because I think this video actually be a better... Sorry for jumping around a little bit. This is the behavior of QuickTime's throwing me off a little bit. Okay, so this is the other part of that video, is that I was doing a tutorial about recording. Okay, so there's me, there's all sorts of things happening there. So there's all sorts of, let's say I had to do sound effects for this, and I had to replace like the sound of key clicks and things like that. So what we're going to do is we would go ahead and say, okay, I need to record key clicks. And I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to go ahead and record into, I would record into there. Okay, pretend that's an audio recording. And I would record that in there. Now, the thing that you would see is that you would see, actually, let me go even a step further here. You can ignore what I'm doing here for a second, because this is not something you'll need to do. I'm just doing this to make, rather than grab a microphone and make all this stuff happen, it's just faster for me to create a fake thing here. Okay, so let's pretend I just recorded this. I just recorded this key click. Now, it's a big block here. That's not exactly what I want. But you would obviously see the waveform in the video. So the thing that I want to do now is I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to trim back to the beginning of my sound effect. I'm zooming way in so I can get right on there. Okay, so I'm going to zoom super in. Yeah, you can even see the waveform. So I can't get much more zoomed in than that. Okay, that's beautiful. Now, when I zoom out, again, let's say that this is a key click. I can move this around my session. And as I move it around my session, the start of the audio file is what is going to dictate what I see in the video. Okay, so that is, again, that is determined by the start of the audio file. That's why it's important to trim back your audio to get just the attack so that you can figure out exactly where it is that it needs to be. So if I zoom around here, there is a point where okay, so right there, what happened is that I clicked on the I clicked on the option there. So now, and you're not going to hear it because I don't have the audio specifically. Actually, hold on a second. I can do that. Let me make that easier here. This is going to be odd, but okay, so it's not that one. Give me a quick second. Oh, it's in the display port, that's why. Again, you can ignore this. I apologize for the technical things I got to go through right here. There it is. Okay, now I just made it a tone, so it's going to be not what you want. But obviously, you'll see that as soon as I click on it, basically that tone starts as soon as that video goes away. So here it comes. Right? So, of course, the tone is not the sound effect that I want, but you get the idea. So if you move that to the point where you see, you want to move that to the point where you see a hand clap, or you see a footstep, or you see a gunshot, or whatever else it is that you're going to put it in there. Now, the first project I'm going to give you guys is not going to be the total sound effect thing. It's going to be a much simpler one. It's actually going to be a political spot where we're going to record a voiceover, and then you guys are going to add a couple sound effects to it. It's a 30-second spot with some sound effects and some specifics to it just to get you started. And then the big project we're going to do is you're going to actually take a chunk of video and add all the sound effects to it. So if you guys... Jimmy, if you guys can take a quick look just do a quick search in the computer. Just type in SFX into the search bar for the computer, and let me know if we should have a special effects library up there. Actually, there might even be a shortcut on the desktop. Just in the chat, let me know if that shows up. I'm pretty sure that I've installed it up there. It should be up there. Okay. So, as we keep going here, this is what we refer to as a spot effect, okay? It is very specifically, it's something that you put in a very specific place in your, you guys were playing. A spot effect is something you put at a very specific points in the a very specific point in your yes. So the SFX alias, you click on that, it will take you to a folder with all the special effects sounds that we have in the studio. So anyway, sorry, got off track again. So a spot effect is something that goes in a specific spot, and by definition, it is attached to an action, right? A gunshot sound needs to be attached to a gunshot. A footstep needs to be attached to a foot hitting the floor, so on and so forth. So that is what we refer to as a spot effect. Now, the other thing I may want is, let's say that I also want the sound of... And again, I'm going to create, I don't have this, unfortunately, I don't have the effects library on this specific computer, so I'm just going to make something up here. Let's turn it down as well, so it's just not very loud. So let's say I wanted to simulate the sound of an air conditioner in this room. Well, I might also put that under here, and you would see this, or it would sound like this. Right? I still have the spot effects. I'm going to make it super short so it feels more like a... actually, let me do this. I'm going to do something here, because I think they're the same thing right now. Oh no, that would be that. Okay, good. So what you're going to see now is I've got the static basically simulating the air conditioner. And then you have that quick pop of the click that would be simulating me clicking on this box in the screen. So the thing that is situated with the action on the screen is a spot effect. This is called an ambient effect, right? An ambient effect is just sounds that are happening around you that are just kind of constant. They aren't necessarily tied into a specific action. So if I'm indoors, maybe the sound of an air conditioner is my ambience. If I'm outside, of course, birds and wind and traffic would just be an ambience. It doesn't have to necessarily tie into what's happening. Now, there is some wiggle room there. Let's say that we are shooting an outdoor scene. Um, let's say we're in Central Park. And if you've ever been in Central Park, if you're on the outskirts of Central Park, you can still see the traffic going by outside the park. So let's say that you are shooting a scene. There's a uh, running trail all around the perimeter of Central Park, and if you're walking on that running trail, or if you're walking on that trail, and you can see there's probably less than 100 yards away to one side, you'll see traffic. So if you're shooting a scene on that trail and you just put up an ambience of traffic, it doesn't have to associate because right there's no visual representation of a car horn honking. We're not seeing inside the car, so you can have a car horn in the back, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to match with anything. The wind, the birds in the trees, none of that has to match, right? It just can be background noise, literally background noise. However, if a car accident happens in the back of the scene, you would need to put in spot effects to match the car, the collision, um, you know, the car alarms, the airbag, whatever it is that you needed to add, the crunch, the glass breaking. That would be a spot effect. But the general stuff that's not connected to anything is an ambient effect. So that's your second type of sound effect. And then the last type of sound effect is what's called a walla, WALLA. So when you guys are in the studio and you look through the special effects, there's going to be a folder that says wallas. Wallas are they're not really ambience, but they're not really spot. So crowd noise would be a walla. Another way to think of walla is that it's it's an ambient sound of people. So if you were in a conference room and so let's say you're in one of those courtroom scenes and everybody's getting all agitated in the jury and the judge has to bang the gavel. The murmuring that they put in there is a walla. It's just the courtroom walla, right? If you listen to the sound and you look at the people in there, none of the mouths match up if you really want to look picky, but it doesn't have to be specific. Um, if you're at a sporting event and somebody scores a goal and the crowd, wah, right? You're not attaching that sound effect to any specific audience member, but the general audience is going to do that thing. That's referred to as a walla. It's not really a spot, it's not really an ambience. It's kind of in the middle, and it specifically is people. So you'll see crowd ambience. You'll see baseball crowd ambience. You'll see casino ambience, right? Casino. Well, it's not wall. People don't really talk in casinos, but you get the point. So a walla is an ambient sound that kind of has a connection to what the action is, but it's not a dead-on connection to the action, and it involves people. So when you see that in the sound effects library, that's what they're talking about when they talk about a walla. Now, as you may have already assumed here, this is where the spot mode in Pro Tools comes from. Okay? That's where the term comes from. That's why it's called spot mode. Now, we haven't talked about, you may have seen it up in the corner, we haven't really talked about spot mode much, but here's what spot mode actually does for you. So let's say that I am working on this project with you. And in my version, in my copy of the Pro Tools session, I have created, oops, sorry, I need to be in the other mode for a second. I have created this audio file right here, okay? And it's the one for the click. And maybe it was my job to do all the key clicks, but you're the one that's compiling the final project. So what I can do here is, let's say that I dragged this and just dropped it into my session and it shows up here. Well, this is not where it belongs, obviously, right? It belongs over here somewhere. How do I get it in the exact same spot that it was sent to me so that I don't have to resync it myself? If you go to the spot mode and you click on the file, this dialog pops up and it says start, sync point, end. The green numbers are where it is now, but at the bottom it says original timestamp. So original timestamp is where the audio was supposed to be when it was first made. If I click on that, it changes the green numbers to that number, and I hit OK, and bam, it puts it at exactly the point it's supposed to be at. So that is what spot mode is. We will do something, um, ironically, my project involving spot mode isn't the video project. It's also great for collaboration. So I sometimes will I'll get a track and somebody will say, "Can you put a bass track on this?" And I'll record a bass part and I'll send it to them. And all they have to do is spot it, and it will fit exactly in the track where I want it to be, so that it still has the right feel, it still has the right, connection to the song and all that kind of stuff. So that's what spot mode is for there. Okay, so that's a kind of a really quick crash course in sound effects. On Thursday, we're going to talk about how to record the voiceover, and then we're going to talk a little bit of the specifics about the practicality of how to set up your session and how to efficiently put this together. So I'm going to cut the stream now, and I'm going to go back to the Google Meet for us to chat.